Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. It's your girl Globetrotter, and I aim to use this channel to bring you tips and information on studying and working abroad as well as travel through fun animated clips. So, where were we last time? Oh, I remember. I was to guide you guys on how to make an application for the Netherlands orientation visa for highly educated persons. Let's get into it. What is the orientation year visa about? I bet you are probably wondering. That's the exact same question I had in my mind when my friend told me about it. The orientation visa for highly educated persons is a visa valid for 1 year that allows one to work in the Netherlands without any restrictions. There are different scenarios where one can be eligible to apply for this visa. For instance, if you are applying within the Netherlands, you should in the past 3 years have completed an accredited bachelor's or master's program, or have completed a postgraduate study of at least an academic year, 10 months, or have completed a study in the context of the Cultural Policy Act, or obtained a master's degree in the context of an Erasmus Mundus master's course. There are a couple of other scenarios I have not mentioned yet. And feel free to check out the IND website for more detail. My focus today will be on applicants outside the Netherlands who are interested in applying for it, which was my circumstance at the time I applied for mine. Here's what I loved about this visa. If you have completed a master's degree program, a doctoral program, or a postmaster's program at a designated national educational institution abroad in the past 3 years, and you can demonstrate that your program was instructed in the English language, or in Dutch, you can apply for it without any conditions like submitting proof of your financial situation, or a job offer. Similarly, you also need to provide evidence that your educational institution was in the top 200 rankings, of at least 2 general rankings, or available rankings per faculty or academic subject. The ranking publishers recommended are specified on the IND website, which are Times Higher Education, QS, and Shanghai Ranking Consultancy. What are the benefits of this orientation year visa? You may wonder. Well, you get free access to the Dutch labour market during the orientation year, you will not be subject to any salary criterion, and an employer does not have to apply for a work permit for you. You can also work as a freelancer, or start your own company during the orientation year. All right GT, can you cut to the chase and show us how to make an application already? We got other things to go back to. Some of you are probably thinking now. So here comes the fun part. The first step is to go to the IND website. I will share the link in the description box. IND stands for Immigration and Naturalisation Service, Dutch. It is a Dutch government agency that handles the admission of foreigners in the Netherlands. On the website landing page, you will see various services the IND offers. What we are interested in is residence permits. You'll notice the different categories of residence permits available, and our main focus is the study category, as that is where the orientation year visa is classified under. You will then fill in your nationality, as there are slight differences in the visa requirements. The main difference being whether you require a provisional residence permit to enter the Netherlands or not. We will cover this in more detail as I walk you through the requirements. So, here we'll go through all the requirements, so as to create a checklist that will inform the documents required to submit a complete application. I'll now let you watch the step-by-step demo and check in a bit, with a compiled list of all the documents we need to prepare before logging your application to IND. What you're seeing is a demo of the first phase of the application process. You have briefly checked whether you meet the general requirements to apply for this visa, and seen where to find the Appendix Antecedents Certificate and Declaration on Intent to go for a TB test, which has to be duly filled and signed. You have also seen information on how to apply for a credential evaluation of your foreign diploma, and which documents are needed for the credential evaluation. The link to where you need to apply for your international credential evaluation will also be shared in the description box. I recommend starting the credential evaluation process at least 4 months before you start the process of applying for the orientation year visa. This is because the credential evaluation process can take a maximum of 4 months, or even longer, and your visa application will be deemed incomplete without it. Thus, making the process with the IND side take even longer to get your visa decision. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the requirement to apply for an MVV, which is an authorization for temporary stay to allow entry into the Netherlands, depends on your nationality. To clarify, if your nationality dictates you need an MVV to enter the Netherlands, then the visa application process will consider your MVV and residence permit application as one, and will happen concurrently. If your nationality is exempt from needing an MVV to enter the Netherlands, then you will skip the MVV application process and go straight to making your visa application payment and sending relevant documentation to IND. In these links, you can see who is exempt and who isn't. You'll start your MVV application process by booking an appointment with the Dutch representative in the country you are currently based. During your appointment, you will need to submit the following documents: a filled application form. A link to this form will be shared in the description box. Your original passport or travel document. Passport photos with specifications required by the Dutch consulate. Your evaluated diploma certificate and any other extra documents specified on the application form. This will be dependent on your situation. The staff member will then fill in the details of the Dutch representation. They will also take your biometric data. You will have your fingerprints taken and provide your signature. These data are needed for the residence permit. Afterward, you will get the form back. You will receive a confirmation of receipt with your personal V number. You are now done with the appointment at the Dutch representation. What next? You may wonder. As of now, the IND recommends waiting a week before you pay the visa application fees and send in your documents for review. Why? This is because the Dutch representation has to send your details to IND so that they can be captured in their system. This means that, if you apply before the 1-week period has lapsed, IND will not be able to connect your payment or documents to your application, causing unnecessary delays. You can then use this waiting week to go through your checklist and confirm you have all the necessary documents required to submit a complete application. These documents include a copy of your valid passport or other travel document and passport stamps, duly filled appendix antecedents certificate, copy of your evaluated diploma certificate, the evaluation letter which is optional, screenshots to demonstrate your educational institution was in the top 200 of at least 2 rankings on the date you completed the study program, proof of visa application fee payment, copy of your orientation year application form that was stamped or signed at the consulate, duly filled declaration of intent to go for a TB test. And finally, a copy of your residence permit if you are living in a foreign country at the time of your application. Once the 1-week grace period has lapsed, consolidate all the required documents we identified in our checklist and prepare to make your application payment. Payment instructions are included in the application form, which includes the payment amount and IND bank details. Once payment is done, send in your application either via post or email. Again, the instruction on how to submit your application are included in the application form. You should aim to send your application within 3 weeks of the date that the Dutch representation filled in on your application form. The application process in all cases, whether you applied in the Netherlands or from abroad, may take up to 90 days. Only if you apply online and your application is complete, the IND strives to handle your application in 2 weeks, and 3 weeks including making your residence document. The IND has a right to extend the decision period if it takes longer to decide. For example, because the application is not complete. In that case, the IND will send you a message. You will receive the decision on your visa in a letter or email. The decision will be positive or negative. A positive decision means you will get an MVV and a residence permit for the orientation year. A negative decision means you will not receive an MVV and residence permit. You have a right to object to this decision. For a positive decision, you will also be contacted by the consulate you made your MVV application from, to hand in your passport for the MVV sticker to be placed in it. Depending on the country you reside in at the time of application, you can either take your passport in person to the consulate for the MVV sticker to be placed or send it via post. Afterward, you will be notified to collect your passport. An information sheet will also be included in the envelope with all the necessary details you need to be aware of with regard to the visa that has just been granted to you. Congratulations! You successfully applied for your orientation year visa and got a positive decision. But when will my orientation year start, GT? I hear you asking. All these practicalities will be explained in your visa decision letter or email. Generally, your residence permit will start on the day after the date the MVV sticker is placed in your passport by the Dutch representative. You can also choose to have your residence permit start on the date you enter the Netherlands. In this case, you need to inform the IND about your entry date before you enter the Netherlands. You can do this until the day on which you collect your passport with the MVV sticker on it. Don't forget to make an application to collect your residence permit before you arrive in the Netherlands, as normally, depending on the city you are collecting it from, for example, Amsterdam, you may have to wait to get a reasonable time slot to book an appointment for collection. That's all for today, peeps. Watch out for the next video series. And as usual, like, comment, share and subscribe.